My name is Linedy Genao, and this is Entre Acts, the podcast where you get to meet your favorite Broadway artists, where we talk about the messy middle, the pauses, career detours, creative changes, and everything like that. And because you're never lost, you're just in between acts. And I'm so excited to announce today's guest. You may have known her from this little musical called Matilda, where she played Matilda. At 11 years old, may I add, performed at the Tonys, won a Tony, was nominated for a Grammy, and now is originating a role in the new hit, Beaches, the musical on Broadway. Please, mi gente, welcome Bailey Ryon.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Thanks so much for being here. How are you doing today?
Good. My day just started. I like to wake up right before I have to leave. So good morning.
I love that you started your day with us. So thank you very much.
Of course, always. I love this. Great way to start the day.
Yes. So before we get started, I love to play this little game as an icebreaker, playing dominoes, not to be confused with Domino's Pizza. No. So why dominoes? Well, I'm Latina, and in the Latin Caribbean culture, outside of baseball, we love playing dominoes. So we're going to play a little spin on dominoes. So the number that you pick on the piece of the domino is going to correspond to an icebreaker question. Are you ready?
Got it.
All right. So let me go ahead and shuffle. And you can just sum up the numbers. I'll just, I pre-shuffle too, so it's fine. All right.
This one is speaking to me.
All right. What number is that?
8.
Number 8. Here we go. Number 8 is, what are you binging these days?
What am I not binging? Recently, I just finished The Traitors. It was the first season that I watched, the one with Rob Rosh. I had never watched it before, but I started watching it because the last show that I just did, we did our own version of Traitors. So I was like, I need to study. So I finished watching that. I just caught up on the Bridgerton season, which was amazing because Benedict has always been my favorite boy, Bridgerton. And I was really excited for his season, and it did not disappoint. It was so good. And honestly, I watched the Oscars last night, but I'm like a TV nerd. Like that's like my niche. Like I do theater for a living, but like TV is where like I will nerd out. So I rewatch all my favorite shows like Arcane. I love Derry Girls. Haunting of Hill House I think is the best piece of media ever made ever. So any of those shows I'm just always constantly, or like my favorite coms are That 70s Show.
Oh my gosh.
I'm always watching something.
You inspire me because I'm really behind on a lot of TV and film. Like really, it's embarrassing. So I'm not going to embarrass myself anymore, but you're inspiring me to start watching.
If you need Rex, I'm the gal to come to.
All right.
Trust.
Perfect. All right. Let's pick another one.
Yes. Okay. 4.
All right. Number 4, shoes off or on? Shoes off on an airplane, acceptable or criminal? Thank you very much.
Criminal.
End of discussion.
As someone who's been on tours, criminal.
Criminal. Okay, next question. Or next domino.
Domino, if you will. 5, 6, 7. What is this? 5, 6.
It's too early to do math.
9.
9. Okay. Should you text back K or leave it on red?
Ooh.
I know. It's hard.
I feel like leave it on red. I don't know. It depends on the situation. I feel like if I got a K, I'd be like, oh, so they're mad. What's
true,
wrong?
But then I'm like, if they leave it on red and they don't respond, I'm like, they're mad. They hate me.
True. I feel like I'm a leave on red person because I'll always get back to it eventually. Okay. Sometimes I just need to like think about it for a second, and I'll just be like, sorry, I was busy, and then respond.
Okay. Actually, you just persuaded me. You're right. Leaving it on red is better. Okay, let's do 2 more.
2 more.
Okay, what is this? Number 6. What city has the best pizza? There's only one right answer.
Okay, here's my thing.
I'm scared.
I'm not a huge pizza person, period. So I have tried Deep Dish Chicago. It was a great experience. I liked it. I loved it. But I am much more of a flat, thin crust. So I gotta go New York, baby.
Okay.
I gotta go New York.
New York for me is number 2.
Okay.
If you ever... Connecticut. Hear me out.
I've never been to Connecticut.
I was born in New York and Brooklyn, and then raised in Connecticut. Frank Pepe's in New Haven. Even though it's not my favorite, I love you, Frank Pepe's. Modern Pizza's my favorite, but it always wins number 3. Frank Pepe's always wins number 1 pizza in the U.S. in Connecticut. Thin crust, like wood oven burned, whatever, and it's like crispy and burned. So good.
Oh well, yeah, it sounds good.
It
sounds good.
Okay,
I need to go to Connecticut.
You do. Okay, last one.
Another 6.
Another 6. Let me find out.
Was that my third 6?
Okay,
guys.
Okay. Falling on your face on stage or forgetting your line?
Falling on your face.
Correct.
I've fallen so many times. I'm so clumsy. If I forget a line, I'll just like make something off of the top of my head, but then I'm kind of like, if you fall, you just get up, you keep going, and then I'm like, who got a video of that? Because I need to see it immediately.
Because when you forget your line, that feeling in your stomach
Yes,
and
it's
that
like-
consumes your body.
Yes.
I don't wish on my worst enemy. When you fall, you get back up and
You get back up and you keep
thing.
going, and
Exactly.
it's funny. It's a good laugh.
Yes.
You forget your line, you're like, I totally messed up the whole show.
Correct. And then you can't stop thinking about it.
And you can't stop thinking about it, and then you mess up other stuff because you're like,
Exactly. Well, thank you for playing dominoes
Yes,
with
I
me,
loved it.
Bailey.
Thank you.
So, as you know, and as you all know, this podcast is called Entre Acts. Entre means between in Spanish. And I was inspired to make this podcast because we don't really talk about what happens in the in-between, right? Whether it's in between jobs, whether it's in between transitional periods in our lives, professionally or personally, because it's vulnerable and because it's weird, but we all go through it as artists. So I found myself in an uncomfortable unknown when, I was in Bad Cinderella, my first principal role on Broadway, to what comes next, right? All the pressure I put on myself, all that pressure that was put on me, just all of that. And I didn't know how to feel, what to do, and was going through those feelings for the first time, trying to have grace for myself, but also, sinking into that. So I wanted to ask you, what does the in-between mean to you when life yells intermission and forgets to tell you what's next?
The in-between for me is growth and finding yourself, especially coming from starting at an incredibly young age. I think about all the time if I made certain choices in life that ended up keeping me in the industry, like for all that span of time, I would be a different person than I am today. And I love the person that I am today. I'm so thankful for the experiences I've had and the breaks I've gotten to take, because when you grow up in the industry, like you're immediately like an adult at 9 years old. And it was nice to have like that experience life, go to football games, have a moment to like be a child. And it changed things about me. It changed the way, like, what I wanted to do in life. And I switched majors, not majors, but I was thinking about choosing different majors at times. And it just, I fully found myself as a person, not even fully, because who knows the next break I'll have, I'll probably discover more about myself. And I just think it's sometimes you need that break. Sometimes you need the in-between to just take a moment and be like, okay, what is next? What doesn't have to be next, but what is next?
Yeah, I love that. And speaking of, so you started Matilda at how old were you?
I started in the industry at 7. I started Matilda. I auditioned when I was 9 and I turned 10.
Okay, and how old were you when you were awarded that Tony?
10.
So hold on, you were 10 years old when you got a Tony.
Crazy.
Okay, did you understand what that meant?
No, not at all. And I honestly still don't to this day, because technically the Tony is like, it's a Tony honor for the 4 of us. And I'm like, well, it's not. And everybody's like, it's a Tony.
Who else is 10 years old and can say that?
And I never
Put a finger
speak
down.
about it.
No.
I never speak about it ever. And then like people will come to my house and be like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's an award. Like, it's nothing.
Oh my God, that's amazing. And then on top of that, you got to perform at the Tonys,
Which
right?
was so amazing.
What did that feel like at 10 years? Like, what was going through your mind?
Truly at 10 years old, like nothing. Like when
real.
you're
That's real.
that young, like it's, for me at least, my mom always liked to say, like, I've always been like a mini adult. I was a strange child. But she was like, you were like, I'm working. This is my job. This is what I'm here to do. It's just another day. And what happens, happens. And at the end of the day, everything's fine. And I would just do these performances and then be like, great, I'm going to go home and go to bed.
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
she was like, I would like meet celebrities. And some of them I don't even remember. My mom would be like, oh, look at this picture. You remember meeting this person? I'm like, no. No, this picture of like me and Tom Hanks. And I was like, oh, cool.
You and Tom Hanks?
We met like apparently on the red carpet at
No
the
big deal.
Tonys. And there's like so many, or like people that like I work with in the industry, and I'm like, oh, we knew each other 10 years ago. And they're like, do you remember me? And I'm like, with so much love. I'm so sorry.
that happens like with people I met last week, so I feel you on that.
Yeah, but like truly, like for me, like nothing was like ever me. And I was a really shy child, and my mom likes to say that I picked the most like hypocritical job, because I am not someone that really likes the spotlight. And the second that everybody's attention's on me, I'm like, So I've always also been that way. When people are like, oh my God, congrats. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't want to, it's fine. And I just get all awkward and, I like freeze up. So it's always just been life for me. Like that's the norm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that. So walk us through what your typical day was like and
Mm.
what you would do in between shows as
Yeah,
a
yeah.
10-year-old.
Okay, yeah. So my mom and I moved to Jersey because I'm not originally from New York, and we would just get on the train in the morning. We'd come to the show. I'd do the show. Usually in Matilda, since there was four of us, one of
Mhm.
us would be on stage and one of us would be a standby because there weren't swings for the Matildas. It was just the four of us. So usually if it was a two-show day, you would like do the morning and then stand by for the night. So in between shows, I would either just go get dinner, as you have probably heard about the infamous playground that all the Broadway children went to, like the Annie
Where?
Kids
Where?
on 40. I think it is on 43rd, or it's either like 43rd or
Between
46th.
8th and 9th?
Yes.
I know exactly where that is.
Yes, the
I
one
know
with like the little
exactly
water
where that
fountain.
is.
Yes, it was like infamous. Every single Broadway kid would like meet in between. It
Aw.
was like the Annie Kids, the Christmas Story, the Billy Elliot, the Newsies, the Les Mis, like Kinky Boots. All of us, the Lion King, would just be in one place at one time, which was nice because we got to all like mingle and meet each
Mhm.
other. But we would just go hang out at that park and be kids for a second.
I love that.
Go back and do the show. Unfortunately, usually when I got home, I had to do schoolwork, which was my least
So
favorite
you
part.
weren't doing okay, when you weren't on as Matilda,
Mhm.
you didn't have to do schoolwork
Sometimes
backstage?
most likely you would. I personally have always been really bad at school. It's just, I sing and dance for a living. Education is not where I thrive. So normally I would have to
That's so
do,
real, I love that.
yeah, I would have to do some makeup work afterwards. It would take me a while to get through units, so I would do it there, and then I'd also have to catch up when I got home. And also, it just is better to like be in a space where there's, not
Mhm.
your friends like
Yeah.
distracting you
Yeah, yeah.
while you're trying to do work. But yeah, that was just a normal day. And my mom, I mean, like, my mom is like my favorite in the world, and she's my best friend. Just so thankful for everything that her and my dad and my family like sacrificed for me. And she was so good about like, even though this was different for my family, she made sure to keep me still like a child. Like, stuff happens in the industry, and there's like a lot of, you sometimes do a show that has adult content in it, or there's
Oof.
adult things happening in the theater, and I didn't know a thing. I was out of the loop. I was always protected. Like, I talked to kids that I was in the cast with, and they were like, "Do you remember when this happened?" And I'm like, "No." My mom's like, "Yeah, I didn't tell you about it."
I love that.
And she was really good about, since I'm from like the country. I'm from Pennsylvania, like all the way south Pennsylvania. Like quite literally like just mud and dirt and grass. That's all we have. And so she was very good about, when we would walk back into the theater, she would have me in front of her and she'd be like two steps behind. So that if there ever was a chance that the subway door closed and we got separated or we got lost, I would know where I'm going and I'd
Your
know how to go
mom
to the
is
theater.
amazing.
She's the best. She's so amazing. She's so smart. And she went to college for musical theater and she was a dancer her whole life. She's
Oh.
a ballroom dancer. So she gets the world at least.
Yeah.
So that was very helpful. But yeah, so I would usually just walk to the theater kind of like by mind, and then parents aren't allowed obviously to come in the theater,
Yeah.
so I'd leave her at the door and then I'd see her at the end of the night, and it was
God.
just, yeah, the day.
I love that because you're absolutely right. I started in this career at 24 years old, and
Mhm.
even then, brand new. I went to school for business, so
Yeah.
wide-eyed. I had no idea about this industry, and I saw a lot of things and experienced a lot of things that I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So I can't imagine as a child, and that's so
Yeah.
beautiful to see and hear how your mother protected you.
Mhm. Truly.
Because you can't shield children from everything all of the
Yes.
time, but the fact that she did all of that, and
Mhm.
you're aware of that and don't even remember a lot of those things, is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
How she protected
Truly.
you. That's amazing. So, what has been your experience transitioning from, again, reaching the apex of your career at
Yeah.
such a young age to now? You're back on Broadway, originating a new role in Beaches the Musical as an adult now. What is that
Yeah.
experience like? What are you taking with you, that you learned as a child? What are you not? Just what has this transitional period been for you?
Yeah, I mean, it is very different while also being the same. I obviously, like, after Matilda, I did a few more things, but I went back and I went to college for musical theater. And then right after that, I did the Kimberly Akimbo tour. And that was kind of the
Yes.
first, like, professional thing I got to do as an adult. And it was just, I don't even know, like, how to explain. Like, it was kind of like, oh, I'm now doing this by myself. And, like, I gotta, like,
Ooh.
I don't have my mom anymore. And luckily with Kimmy, it was, a lot of us are the same show with people that were all like in their 20s. And then this Beaches is, I'm now the youngest person, which I'm never the youngest. So this is very new for me. I'm like, oh, I'm the baby. I don't know how I feel about that. But it's there's so much that I'm like, oh, this is different than when I was a kid. And now it's kind of fun getting to be like, oh, now I am part of the adults who like, we can go get a drink after the show. And I remember being a kid and being like, I want to go. And they were like, well, you can't come to this restaurant. I'm like, why not? And just being able to experience it now as an adult, it's like kind of the same. Like, as I said, like I was like a mini adult. So the same work ethic I've always had. And it really did prepare me as a kid. Like, there's nothing really ever that phases me nowadays, or even back then. Like, I've always just been like it happens, and like I've done press and they're like, actually you have to perform on a staircase, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Where some people are like, I don't understand how you were so nonchalant about everything, and I'm like, because I just learned at a young age, like, what will be, and
listen,
what
that is
will
so
be.
real.
And also I'm a Taurus. Like,
I'm a Gemini. I'm right behind you.
Yeah, my best friend's a Gemini. Shout out Miles.
Shout out Miles. We love you, Miles.
Love you, Miles. Love a Gemini. But yeah, so it's like different and the same, where I'm like re-experiencing things as an adult. And it's like, wow, it's like a little bit different, but really like it's kind of just stepping back into like an old pair of shoes, truly.
I love that. And that's so real. That serves you so well, or anybody so well in this industry, where people are constantly like on the edge of their seats. And I'm speaking for myself too, the anxiety that also comes with this industry, and constantly being compared, or being rejected. You know, we're putting ourselves out there, our artistry, for it to be stomped on oftentimes, especially nowadays with the whole social media of it all.
Oh, yes. So, that's the new thing for me, is the social media. I've been getting used to that as very different for me.
Yeah, that's my messy middle had a lot to do with that. Because, you know, people think they know, but you have no idea unless you're doing it. Truly. So how did you, okay, hold on. This is about to be a cut right here. Okay. How would you describe yourself to someone who only knows you from your work? Who are you outside of your artistry?
Ooh, wow. So much of me is my work that I'm a very driven person, so people know that I'm like always working. But I'd say outside of that, like, truly I am like a homebody. Like, I am home in my bed. I love to sleep. I love movies. I love TV. I'm a huge cat person. I'm a huge animal lover, period. My survival job throughout college was I worked at Petco, because I was like, I need some sort of animal in my life. And then after that, I had like a full pet sitting business. So I love animals. I love doing anything that has to do with them.
I have a dog, so
if you ever need someone, I got you. Yes. Yeah, I'm a family gal. I love my family. I'm in the middle of 5 kids, and I have lots of siblings, and my brother's about to have a baby, so I'm about to be an aunt for the first time. Yes, thank you. So that's really exciting. And I don't know, I just say, like, I truly am just like a laid back, like, I would say, you know what my friends say? My mom's always said, they're like, you are a Bing. Like, you are a Chandler Bing, if you know friends. Like, that is who I am. Like, I am like a Susie Meyerson, an Eloise Bridgerton, a Chandler Bing. Like, that is who I am.
I love that.
My mom loves to like be like, oh, that's you on the TV. I'm just like extroverted, introverted. Like, at the same time, I love talking. I love meeting new people, but I would rather like be on my couch and not be like at a club meeting people, you know? And I don't know. I've always done theater. I love theater, but my niche is like, I love writing. I was going to go to college for screenwriting. That's eventually where I want to end up at the end of, you know, my career. But I have to be in the arts some way or another. I mentioned earlier, like, school was not my zhuzh. I was not good at it. I tried my hardest, but I never got it, and I just didn't enjoy it. I think at a young age, when you start this professionally and then you're like, oh, I like this, I'm good at it, you go back to public school and you're like, yeah, I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I could just go back to New York. So that was a struggle. And I have to have music and art in my life to have joy. Like, it's just what feeds me.
Absolutely. I feel you on that. And thankfully, this is one of many industries where you don't have to go to school for this. I didn't. I went to school for business. I worked in banking.
Oh my God.
So it's like, you know, if it's meant for you, it's there. And what will be, you know?
Yeah.
So I love that. What's the weirdest fan interaction you've had? If you can remember from 10 years old,
my
or
gosh.
recently in beaches, because I know it's about to get crazy.
I mean, I've had so. I think the craziest one for me, and this was just because it was like funny. Like, I've had so many, like, crazy people at a stage door, but the craziest one for me was I was in college. I went to James Madison University that's in Harrisonburg, Virginia, in the middle of nowhere in Virginia.
I've never been.
And exactly, like, nobody's like, everyone's like, oh, I don't know what that is. I'm like, yeah, it's like a super small town. And then there's just like a college in the middle of it. And I lived in an apartment that wasn't student housing. It was just like you could live there, like people that just lived there. And I was taking out my trash one day, or I was going to work, or I was about to leave, and I walked out my door, and somebody was coming in who was my neighbor. And she was also a college kid, but she was like, I'm so sorry. This is going to be so strange, but is your name Bailey? And I was like, yes. And she was like, I am obsessed with you. And I was like,
Oh my God.
really? And I still wasn't putting together why. And she was like, Matilda was my, like, it was injected in my veins. And she was like, and you and the 3 other girls, I saw you the other day, and I was like, I think that's her. And I was like, who would have thought, like, in
All the way in
Harrisonburg,
the
Virginia,
exactly.
she's not like an arts major. Like, she was just like, I just have to say that I love you, and and we're friends now. Like, she's in the city now, and I just like, it's just so crazy that she even I don't realize that people recognize me at this, age, and even on like Beaches released, and people are like, is that Bailey Ryon? I'm like, how do people remember that? Like, I still can't fathom the fact that for some people, like, Matilda was a huge part of their lives, and that it was a big thing to have like the 4 girls win the Tony and like lead a show, which was like other than that, it was like the Billy Elliot
Oh my
show, which
God.
was also huge. So yeah, I'd say that was kind of the one that's most memorable for me, because I was like, wow, I didn't realize like the impact that I had.
And when you were removed from it for so long, like you were in
Yes.
college.
Yes, crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So talk to us about Beaches. What are you
Oh my
excited
gosh.
about? I know you're about to start tech.
Yes, today.
Today. Oh my, thank you for being here. Oh my gosh.
Of course. It's amazing. I have to say what stands out for me the most is the score. I think the score is just absolutely beautiful, and to me it's just very nostalgic. Like, there's an Entre Act, and there's like an
Yeah.
opening, and it's just like Broadway to me, which I love. And it's just, every song is just like an earworm in my brain. Like, I wake up every morning to a song, and obviously Jess and Kelly are singing the house down.
I bet.
And
I
they're
cannot wait.
so good. And also, it is fun for me. While I have like originated before in Matilda came from the West End, so it
Mhm.
was kind of like set already, especially because they were Royal Shakespeare Company is like very like, we know what we like we know what works, and we're gonna keep it that way. So there was truly no like judging with Matilda, and this is kind of the first professional thing, because Kimmy, I just stepped into the tour, and that was the same. And it is really cool seeing how the process is working behind the scenes and being a part of like an original musical. And it's just so cool. Like, Jess and Kelly have so much authority over their characters, and they are so vocal about, I feel like she would feel this way about this, and I don't think it's right for her to say this line this way. Like, that's not who she is. Like, they have studied these characters immensely, and just like, it's like a part of them now. And the directing team and everyone behind the scenes is so like appreciative of that. And they're like, absolutely, you're right. They're like, thank you. And they're just constantly working and changing. And we have like stacks of new lines every day, which I'm not used to, like, truly every day. Like, I'm sure you get it. Like, it's just a new scene every day. And I like was working on a scene where we tried it like 5 different ways before we settled on it. And even in tech, I'm gonna change as well.
And during previews.
Oh, 100% during previews.
And during previews.
So that has been really fun for me. I love the creative side of things as well. So it's been really cool getting to watch that team. The team is so wonderful, and everybody in the cast is so wonderful, and it's been so much fun.
Oh,
So
I can't wait to see it.
Yes, and such like a woman heavy cast. Like, oh, I love it. And all those women are
an iconic
great.
theater at the Majestic.
Yes.
That's gonna be insane.
So exciting. I will say I think what I'm most excited for is we do have a little gag about Gypsy in the show, and it's my favorite part of the show.
Uh-oh.
And we are in the theater that Gypsy just left. So I'm really excited. I think people are going to be like, that's funny, because it's truly like, it's just like a little Cece's at Summer Stock, and the production they're doing is Gypsy. And I think it's just a really nice nod to that, which even if it wasn't meant to be, I find it hilarious. So
No, that's
one of my favorite parts of the show. Yeah.
Well, Bailey, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
I love starting the show with a game, and then
Yes.
we're gonna end the show with kind of a game,
Perfect.
like a little sandwich. Like the beginning is fun, the
Of
middle is meaty,
course.
and then the end is like a little fun. Okay, so because we're keeping it PG-13, instead of that game, beep, marry, kill. You know what the beep means?
Yes.
It's bed, wet, dead.
Bed, wed, dead.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Okay.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bed, wet, dead. Sweeney Todd, Into the Woods Company.
Oh, Wed Company.
Okay.
Like my second favorite musical of all time. Bed into the Woods. Dead Sweeney Todd. That's so hard for me. It's so hard. Sondheim is like every Sondheim show is my favorite show in the world. So that's hard. But I just love Company and I love Into the Woods. So
I feel the tension in the room with that answer.
I know everybody was like,
uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Bed, wet, dead. Oh, you haven't started. Okay. Tech previews rehearsals. So previews, may I remind you, is where you're rehearsing in the morning, making changes that you might put in that night or a week later.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Dead previews.
Correct.
It is so tiring.
It is.
It truly your energy is like through the floor. I'd say bed, rehearsals, wed. What was the last one?
Tech.
Bed, tech, wed, rehearsals.
Right? You have your nights. You can
Yes,
go
you
home
have
and
your
have
nights,
dinner,
go
10 to
home.
6, Monday
Yeah,
through Saturday.
love
It's
it.
cute. Okay. Bed, wet, dead. Phantom, Cats, Evita.
Wed of Evita.
Yes.
Honestly,
I'm scared.
crazy take. Bed cats.
Really? Well, the Jellicle Cats.
Guys.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. We were rehearsing in the same studio as
I'm jealous.
Cat's Jellicle Ball, and Andre DeShields just walks by, and I'm like, cool. But
No big deal.
Skimbleshanks, Emma, she plays Skimbleshanks. She walked into the green room the other day, and I fangirled over her. I screamed. I was like, Skimbleshanks! She was my favorite part of the Jellicle Ball. She is so stinking good. Everything she's been in, I've seen her in everything. She is amazing, and I freaked out. Anyways, dead. But that's a little biased because I've only seen the movie. I've never been able to see it live. I still haven't got to see Masquerade, and I just was
I need to see Masquerade.
all that whole era of Phantom, I was either in a show or I was back home in Pennsylvania. So I didn't really get the chance to see it.
It's okay. Hopefully you can see Masquerade and then we'll play this game again.
I need to. Yes, of course.
Okay, this next game is Stage Door Confessions. Worst audition story. Don't we all have a worst audition story?
All? I think, honestly, it was a college audition story. We were doing SpongeBob the Musical, which... so good, by the way.
Love
it's
SpongeBob.
Such a fun show to do. If you ever have the chance to do it, do it. But I had just done the season with Sunday in the Park with George and SpongeBob, complete ends of the spectrum, and I had just Sunday in the Park with George is my favorite musical of all time, and I was honored enough to be Dot. It was I was so happy. But so I was kind of like, okay, SpongeBob, I was already the associate choreographer. I was like, I'm just gunning for ensemble. Yes, I was like, I'm gunning for ensemble. What happens, happens. I wasn't really thinking too hard about it. Then I get called back for SpongeBob, Plankton, and Sandy, or Squidward. I got called back for 3.
Everything.
And I ended up, I was like, okay, cool, fun. And then the next day I woke up with an 102-degree fever.
Oh no.
And I went into the audition. I have never been more delirious in my life, and I had to do the Plankton rap.
Moment of silence.
It didn't happen. And they knew. I walked in and they were like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm here. I'm ready to go. And then I did it. They were like, go home. I was like, thank you. Which it was fine because truly I was gunning for ensemble. It was such an ensemble heavy show. I was like, I just want to dance in the show. So it wasn't I didn't feel bad, but I was like, that was funny.
Yeah. You won't forget that one.
I will never forget that. I don't even remember it. I felt like I was dreaming.
Oh my
Crazy.
gosh. Best backstage prank.
Oh
These
my
are the
gosh.
best.
These are the best. How
do you remember anything pre-COVID? Because I don't.
Well, the only reason is because I was a 2020 graduate. So everything pre-COVID is before college for me. I did a production of The Secret Garden at the Art and Theater in Philadelphia. Shout out Philly. Woo.
Shout out.
Love Philly. It's my favorite place ever. And that group of people was just one of the best casts ever, and I love them and I miss them. But Jim Hogan, who I also just did the Kimberly Akimbo tour with, we were in that show together, and we just had a prank war backstage. And I got him really good one day. At the end of the show, we had petals falling from the flower petals from the garden, and they would sweep them up and put them in this bucket every day. So he came off stage from like one of his biggest, like he was the brother, so like he's like, supposed to be not nice in that show. And he came off from like really like mad scene, and I had like 3 people lined up. We all threw the flower petals on him and got him right when he walked out. And he was like, ah ha ha, like I knew that was coming, whatever. Turned the corner and like 10 more people were there with flowers, and he was like, that got him. I was like, yes. But I was like 13 at the time, and I was like having a blast. Truly, like we were pranking each other every day. It was so much fun. That was my favorite.
Wait, did you do the tour, Kimberly Akimbo tour with Carolee Carmelo?
Yes, I did.
I love you, Carolee.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did Bats and
Hello,
She
Bats
was my evil stepmother.
Duh.
She wasn't evil though.
I love
in
her.
real life. I
my
love
Virgo
her.
queen. I love her.
I love Carolee. Oh my
She's
gosh.
iconic. She's to be in a show with her. I was like, queen.
Oh my God, I love her. And she, fun fact, she also has a background in business. She went to school for business and is on Broadway show number 16, I believe. Yeah, I think her Sweet 16 was with Bad Cinderella.
Yes.
So I'm like, may I have a career as long as Carolee Carmelo? Please,
Exactly.
please God.
Exactly.
Last game.
Okay.
So we're gonna chismear. So chisme in Spanish means gossip. But it's like, when you're with your friends and you're just like talking about it. So we're gonna chismear a little bit. So any beaches chisme we need to know about?
Gosh.
This is a safe space.
I'm trying to think. Honestly, like the cast, we're so chill at this point.
You're about to start tech, so
we'll get to that. Honestly, I think like the gossip right now would be like everybody's married. Everybody's either married or engaged. And I walked in, I was like, I think me and one other girl are like single. And I was like, okay. What the hell? But like everybody is like has like families and like they're, in their 30s. So like they've started their lives. And I was like, I'm kind of gagged. Coming from Kimberly Kimbo, where we're all like college kids and we were like just having a blast with each other, that I was like different. I was like, okay, cool. Everyone has a person in their life. And they were all like, how about you? And I was like, no. Right now. She's like, I'm doing a show.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
I'm
real.
right now.
My Broadway debut, I was the youngest. I was 24. And I was single. I had just gone through a really bad breakup, and all of the ensemble girlies were like, "We're gonna find you a boyfriend." I'm like, "No, I'm in your city. I'm single." And they were like, "Okay, we're gonna hook you up with somebody. Who would you date?" And I was like, "Maybe a musician." They were like, "Never date a musician." And I'm like, "Why?" No offense, musicians, but that's what I was told. And then they were like, "A stagehand, good benefit." I'm like, "Ew, a stagehand? No hate, stagehands, local one. I love you. My husband is a stagehand, so I married a freaking stagehand."
There you go.
3 months later, I'm like, "You couldn't like let me live my life in New York City." So you never know. You might find your husband.
You never know. I know. Hopefully, they were all like, "What's your type?" And I was like, "Do not set me up with a man in theater. Sorry. Do not give me an actor."
Thank God mine is a little removed from like the stage.
Yeah. Just like a little removed. Don't give me an actor boy. I don't want it. I don't want it.
No. Okay. What's a rule you hated from your parents that you now fully support?
Oh, I honestly.
Or was your mom super chill?
No, my parents were quite strict. Not in like a mean way. Okay, I know. This was always like, I always understood, but it was just hard because I have 4 siblings, like, and we lived, we're not like, I had a very gracious life and I had like a privileged life, but we struggled because there was a lot of us. And when we all went to school, their rule was, we'll help you with the first semester and then the rest of it, you're on your own. And it's basically like you're 18, you're out. Like if you're not going to go to school, you got to find a job and you got to find an apartment. Like that's like, because they can't support 5 kids themselves. So it was hard. But there was times where I was so broke in college and I was working like 3 jobs at a time. And I was like, oh my God. And my friends were like, your parents don't help you? And I was like, yeah, but I'd rather it that way because it truly like set me up for like I've been paying taxes since I was like 10 because I started so young, but like
that's real.
Yeah, but I truly like had to figure out how to deal with finances and like make mistakes and in college about money, and like I've gotten like bills and then being like, you didn't pay for this, and I'm like, oh God. But I'd rather learn that in school and when I'm younger, and now I feel ready to like when I feel ready to face things head on when it comes to that stuff. And I'm grateful that they kind of forced me to, and they were always there to help if I had questions. Obviously, like my dad is super smart and I'm always like, I don't know what this means, and he's like, okay, I'll help you.
I still call my dad to this day for everything.
This day, everything. I was just about to call him last night because I need to like put something on a USB, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But it truly helped me set me up for life. And I watched like my friends in college be like, I don't know how to do this. And I'm like, well, I do. Thank you, mom and dad.
No, that's real. As the oldest of four, it was a very
Yes.
similar situation. Of course, they were there for whatever, I needed, but
Yeah.
I also didn't even want to put that pressure on them. Like if I
Mhm.
needed something, of course, But
Exactly.
that's real. Go see Bailey in Beaches the Musical at the Majestic Theater, which just opened.
Yay!
Thank you so much. And I love to end all of my episodes with my favorite tagline.
Okay.
Because life doesn't pause, it just moves.
Fuck. It just
Take two.
moves. Okay.
Because life doesn't pause, it just moves. Entre Acts. Thank you, Bailey.
Thank you so much. You're the best.
Entre Acts is created, hosted, and executive produced by yours truly, Linedy Genao. Produced in partnership with Alan Seals and the Broadway Podcast Network. Carlos E. Hernandez of Ikigai Management and Media serves as our lead executive producer. Original music by Johan Beltre and Pedro F. Fortunato. And special thanks to WelcomeToTimesSquare.com, the billboard where you can be a star for the day. Don't forget to subscribe and follow Entre Acts so you never miss an episode. Nos vemos!